Hello, students. Today we are going to study a famous poem of William Blake. The title of the poem is The Tiger. Let us start. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Don't you think it's rhyming with the nursery rhyme? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. But it's a very enigmatic poem. It's a very rhetorical poem. And the theme of the poem is very serious. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Tiger here is a symbol of ferociousness, of fearfulness. And the poet is amazed to see the brightness of the tiger. And see the spelling, don't be confused, because tiger here is not the actual animal, it's a symbol of ferociousness. So, tiger, tiger, burning bright. The fur of the tiger, it's orange and shining yellow like the fire. So, in the forest of the night, in the darkness of the forest, the brightness of the tiger, of the fur of the tiger, becomes more paradoxical. Actually, you will notice that the whole poem is full of paradoxes. Tiger is a symbol of ferociousness, as I already told you, and another poem of William Blake is The Lamb, and lamb is a symbol of meekness, of innocence. So, here also you will realize that paradox. What immortal hand or eye could frame the fearful symmetry? So the poet is full of wonder. The poet wants to know what immortal hand was that. Immortal, that cannot die, that is perennial, that to which death can never come. So, whose hand was that? Whose eye was that? Could frame the fearful symmetry. So, frame means to formulate, plan, to draft. So, an eye is needed, a mind is needed to formulate such a symmetrical body. Symmetry, proportion, uniformity, equilibrium. So, such a proportionate body needs a plan, needs a draft. So, who made that draft? Who prepared that plan? Who dreamed about this proportionate body? Obviously, not a human eye. Obviously, not a mortal eye. Obviously, not a mortal hand. So, it must be an immortal hand. It must be an immortal eye. And who is immortal? All of us know. Gods and goddesses, they are immortal. God is immortal. So, the tiger has been created by some immortal hand. But which was that immortal hand? What immortal hand or eye could frame the fearful symmetry? So, this is a rhetorical question which has no answer. So, in the whole of the poem, you will notice that there are so many rhetorical questions which are not answered. What immortal hand or eye could frame the fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes. On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fires? In what distant deeps or skies? Distant deeps here means oceans, seas, skies, firmament. Burnt the fire of thine eyes. The fire that is present in your eyes, where was it? Before entering your eyes, where did it exist? Did it exist in the deep oceans or did it exist in the high firmament? So, where did it actually exist? Who brought it from there? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? On what wings dare he aspire? So, the Creator who brought fire for your eyes, if it was in the skies, how did he reach there? In the first line, he has wondered where the fire actually existed. The fire that is in the eyes of the tiger, where it had existed, whether it had existed in the deep oceans or it had existed in the sky. So, if it had existed in the sky, on what wings dare he aspire? So, what wings were used by that creator to bring that fire from the skies? On what wings did he aspire? So, this line can have a reference to the wings of Icarus. Icarus is a mythological figure. He was given wings by his father Daedalus. Daedalus was the maker of wings and he gave wings to his son Icarus. Icarus flew too high in the sky and the sun melted, the heat of the sun melted his wings. He fell down and he died. So these wings can refer to the wings of Icarus also. So on what wings did he aspire? What wings, what type of wings had been used by the Creator to bring that fire from skies? What the hand dare seize the fire? So whose hands were so powerful? Whose hands were so daring that they could seize the fire, they could catch the fire, they could hold the fire. What shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? And what shoulder and what art? So, could twist the sinews of thy heart. Sinews uh, stands for tissues, muscles. So, whose shoulders were that? Actually, whose powerful hands were that? And what art? Who possessed that art? Who was so skillful and who was so powerful that could twist the sinews of thy heart? Who could mold, who could shape the tissues of thy heart, the muscles of your heart? So, who was powerful enough? Who had the skill enough to mold the muscles of your heart, to give shape to the muscles of your heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? And when thy heart began to beat, so he has given shape to your heart, and after your heart being given shape, your heart being given life, when it started beating. It means when you came into life, when you became alive, when you became animate, when your heart started beating. So, what dread hand and what dread feet? Were the hands and feet of the Creator shaking? Were they full of fear? Were they trembling? Maybe possible, because the shape of the tiger is very fearful. Now, when it became alive, it's possible that the Creator might have trembled to witness the shape, the fearful shape of the tiger. So he is again asking this rhetorical question: what dread hand and what dread feet? So were the hands and feet of the Creator full of fear, full of dread? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp? Dare its deadly terrors clasp. So, in this quatrain, in these lines, there is an analogy of the ironsmith, blacksmith. He uses these instruments: hammer, chain, furnace, anvil. So it seems as if the creator of the tiger was working in a workshop like a ironsmith or a blacksmith. So what's the hammer? What the chain? So which was that hammer? Of which metal was it constructed? Of which metal was it made? What the hammer? What the chain? Now, what were the chains that bound you? Because it's very controlled when his heart has begun to beat, when he has become animate, when he has become alive. So it's just quite impossible to control him without chains. So what chains tied you? What chains controlled you? Of what metal were made those chains that controlled you? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? Furnace is a place which can create high temperature where the metals are melted by the smiths, by the ironsmith. Iron is melted. Other metals are also melted in furnace. So, in which furnace was your brain melted? In what furnace was your brain prepared? What the anvil? Anvil is again an instrument used by the ironsmith. It's a heavy iron block with a flat top and concave sides on which metal can be hammered and shaped. So, what the anvil? Which anvil had been used by the Creator? What dread grasp? Grasp means grip. So, who could grip you? Who could catch you? Who could grab you? What dread grasp? Dare its deadly terrors clasp. So, who had the courage? Dare means who had this audacity, who had this courage to grab you, to grasp you, to catch you, to grip you. Deadly terrors? So, this terrible shape of yours, the terrible body of yours, by whom could it be grasped? By whom could it be grabbed? By whom could it be gripped? So, who could catch your fearful body? Who could control your fearful body? Whose hands were so daring? Whose hands were so courageous? When the stars threw down their spears, and watered heaven with their tears. Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? When the stars threw down their spears. Here, stars actually symbolize the angels who must have become full of fear, who must have become a little bit despaired, a little bit dejected to see the creation of the Creator. And in dejection, they must have thrown down their spears. They must have protested this creation. So, when the stars threw down their spears, one, the angels threw down their weapons, being dejected, being full of fear, to see the new creation of the Creator, new creation of the God. When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. So, throwing down their spears, they became dejected and they were full of tears. Their eyes shed tears and filled the sky with water. They were full of fear to see this new creation and they started crying. At that time, did he smile his work to see? When the stars or the angels, they were crying, they were weeping, they were filling the sky with their tears, at that time, did the Creator smile to see his marvelous work? Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Now see the paradox here. The Creator who created lamb, and lamb, you see, it's written in capital letter here. So it's a symbol of innocence. So the same Creator who created lamb, which is so meek, which is so innocent, did the same Creator make you also, who are so ferocious, who are so terrible, so horrible? Was it possible for the same person to create two opposite things, two contrasting things, lamb and tiger? Again, it's a paradoxical question which remains unanswered. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? So these four lines, they have been repeated here, the four lines which were already in the beginning, but the difference is that the fourth line here was could, and here there is dare. So here the poet was questioning the capacity. Could denotes the capacity of a person, of the Creator. So here he was questioning the capacity, could frame the fearful symmetry. And here he is saying, dare frame thy fearful symmetry. So dare here shows courage. Could here shows capacity. So now, because he has described the fearful figure of the tiger, now he is saying dare. He is showing the courage of the Creator who could create this marvelous body, proportionate body, fearful body of the tiger. As you see the structure of the poem, it is you can divide it into quatrains. If you divide into quatrains, then the rhyme scheme will be A, B, B. Bright night, eye, symmetry. Although eye and symmetry don't rhyme exactly, but it's the rhyme scheme. Or you can divide the poem into couplets. Bright night, eye, symmetry, skies, eyes, aspire, fire, art, heart. The poem is, as you see, it's very beautiful. There are alliterations and there are symbols. Tiger itself is a symbol of ferociousness, and lamb here is a symbol of innocence. It's a very symbolical and paradoxical poem. I hope it's clear to you. Thank you.